Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on the Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. It's a real pleasure tonight to introduce you to really quite an impressive young lady who's gone into her only first bikini competition. She's been a fitness advocate and a personal trainer for a long period of time, but some things that happened in her life got her to desire to compete and to I guess show off, or at least exhibit what her fitness accomplishment's been. And she came in second in her category, which is first time out, a huge accomplishment. So I want to introduce you to Crystall Goegebeur. Is that right? Goegebeur?
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, you've been in fitness sort of a long time. You had a training, personal training company.
Yeah, we had a personal training business.
So you've always been fit.
Tiny. I've been fit, but yeah, this has just been a different level.
So what's the difference between being fit and being fit enough to being in a bikini competition?
So a bikini competition takes a lot of dedication, self-discipline. It's your diet as well as your training that really kind of sparks up the difference between just training to be healthy and training for an actual competition where you're trying to build lean muscle and be as lean as you can be.
So how did you do it? What did you have to do?
You have to train hard, lots of cardio, lots of weights, training every single day.
Every single day,
sometimes twice a day. My training sessions would be anywhere from an hour and a half, twice a day. And then as well as eating. You're on a very limited diet for a long time, about 4 weeks. So
4 weeks before the competition.
Yeah.
But not all the time.
No, I mean, it depends. Everybody kind of sets their own guidelines for when they want to start depleting themselves. But I kind of gave myself a guideline of 4 weeks where it was strict, and every single week kind of take back more from that. Yeah.
And why did you want to do this? And I understand that you've got 4 kids at home.
I do.
So you got 4 kids, you're a single mom, and you decided that you wanted to ramp it up from being just a fitness advocate and a personal trainer to being a competitor in a bikini competition.
You know, to be honest, it was something that I've always kind of idolized, those athletes that do that, right? It takes a lot of courage, a lot of self-confidence to go out there, to first off train for it, but then to go out there and display yourself in heels and a bikini and kind of put yourself out there, right? So it was something that I've always kind of idolized, and I was like, you know what, I could do that. So I was like, that's it, I'm going to do it. So I signed up. And I mean, I put my foot to the pedal, and I just kind of put my mind and wrapped my head around it, and yeah. And
so you did it this past year. You went in your first competition.
Yeah.
And the competition was in Toronto.
Yes. And
you came in second.
I came in second. Yeah.
And what was the category that you compete in?
So it is based on your age, and it is based on your height. So I was in the 35 and plus and the 5'6" and plus.
5'6" and plus. You mean there's not like 6 foot over? It's like that's a lot. Aren't a lot of people 5'6" and over?
Yeah.
That's got to be a big category.
It was a big category.
How many competitors?
There was 12.
12.
Yeah, which is a lot for that age category, right? So generally the younger age categories is even more, right? There's even more ladies. I feel like probably anywhere from like the 25 to 30 range is probably the most popular. That's when people are really into their fitness, say before kids, before they're kind of settling down with their careers. They kind of go into that. Yeah.
Any others with 4 kids?
Not that I know of, no. And so that's the thing. I've always kind of looked at myself as an individual. And that was, again, one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to go into it, is because I was like, I look at myself, I train hard, I know how disciplined I can be. And I was like, I can compete against 20-year-olds. I can compete against 30-year-olds. Like, there's no difference. Age is just a number, and yeah.
What do your kids think of this?
They loved it. It's actually, so my oldest.
You've got some boys.
I do. I have 3 boys and a little girl. My oldest is 14.
And he's a hockey player.
He's a hockey player. All 3 boys are hockey players.
Yep.
And it kind of sparked some interest in them to kind of get on a healthier track, right? With their eating, just even their sports level. I can tell that they've upped it. They wanted to start weight training, which is, I don't know, it's very cool to see, right? Because it's nothing that I push on my kids. I want it to just happen organically, and it has.
Now, when you were a teenager, were you into fitness?
No.
Were you athletic?
No.
You weren't on school teams?
No.
None of that?
None of that.
But then you became a personal trainer. What took you from that kind of, were you one of like the tough girls in high school?
No. My ex, he was big time into fitness. So he was a professional hockey player. He, we both kind of opened up our own personal training studio, health studio, and it was mainly him. I was kind of more behind the scenes, running the books and everything like that. He got a position going into coaching for OHL. So he kind of went in that direction. I kind of had to take over more of the business, and I started personal training, and it just kind of flourished from there. It's something that I obviously have a passion for, but it's just grown from that.
What's it like putting on heels and a bikini and like striding down the runway or across the stage in front of hundreds of people?
That was number one, the toughest thing to wrap my head around. So from the moment I said, okay, I'm gonna enter myself, I registered myself. I went and seeked out advice for a coach because I don't know, there's certain posing that you need to know, right? So it doesn't matter how fit you are if you don't know how to present yourself.
What do you mean present yourself? So it's posing, or is
posing? It's posing as well. It's posing and then also conditioning, right? They want to see the muscle definition and everything, but also you have to present it in a certain way that has been formulated over years, right? There's certain
it's posing, it's confidence, it's weight training, an hour and a half, 2 times a day.
Yeah.
Is it like big weights or repetitions of light weights?
Well, you have to build lean muscle. So it's going to be heavy weight. So it's nothing where you're just conditioning your muscle. You have to actually build your muscle to develop those.
So it's heavy weights.
Yes.
Okay, and then you said lots of cardio as well.
Lots of cardio as well, because you have to be lean. So when I was on stage, I was probably about 8% body fat, which is pretty low.
Next to nothing.
Next to nothing.
Right. And and just out of interest, what are you now? Any idea?
I would say, I'm always lean. If I had to guess, I'd probably say I'm between 12 and 15.
Okay, and what would be normal, do you think?
And normal for my age, my height, I would say a normal is probably about 18 to 22.
Right. So that's pretty slim.
I'm still pretty lean, only because I am still doing photo shoots. I'm still very active.
Now that's how I became aware of you.
Yes.
A photographer that I know of was taking tons of shots of you.
Yes.
So what's that all about? You want to become a model? And
I do. I'm having fun with it right now. So because of the fitness competition that I've done, I constantly, continuously get outreached by photographers who want to do photo shoots with me. So it's something that, as a child, I always had a dream of, right? And never thought that I could pursue it just because, that's just a fantasy, right?
Yeah.
But right now I feel like I'm living it. I'm doing photo shoots like every single week. I'm doing like 1 to 2 photo shoots, sometimes 3 photo shoots in a week, which is a lot, still managing my 4 kids.
How do you find time with 4 kids?
And
working
playing
hockey and working out?
Food prep.
How does that work
clients. It's a big juggling act, but I make it work.
Unbelievable. We're going to take a break for some messages and be back in just a few minutes with Crystal. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Crystall Goegebeur, a fitness instructor, a personal trainer, and a bikini competitor is our guest tonight. And we're talking a little bit about fitness and health and diet and motivation. Because I think that, we get into the fall, people become a little bit more lackadaisical. It's good to be inspired by someone who, after 4 kids and 17 years, you said, of marriage, decided just to get into it. And the very first time out in a bikini competition, she comes in second. So that's pretty impressive. Lots of people have stories about, what motivated them. You didn't have a story. You didn't have like a catalyst. It was just something you wanted to do?
Something that I wanted to do. You know, I feel like I've kind of started a new chapter in my life. I'm at a very happy point in my life, and it's something that I've always, like I said, I've always kind of idolized. I've looked up to those athletes. Something that I've always wanted to do, and put myself out there and say that I can do it. Right. So yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to do, and you know, I feel like if I could do it, anybody can do it. You know, I look at myself as just a regular mom out there, right? It's just a matter of how you structure your days and what, you know, what motivates you, right?
Now, you said that a lot of your clients are other moms.
Yes.
That get inspired by what your story and want to.
By me, yeah. In a way, they look at me and they you know, they obviously they want to have the discipline that I do. They want, you know, if I have any secrets or tips or anything like that. But yeah, it's a lot of moms.
Where's the discipline come from?
Inside, you know.
Did you always have it?
Yeah, I'm a very bullheaded person. So if I think in my head I can do it, then I'm going to do it regardless. I don't, you know, I kind of like you know, block out everything, all my surroundings, and I just kind of put my mind to it.
Now, your ex-husband was a hockey player, a professional hockey player, and traveled through, I guess, Canada and the United States, was in a farm team in Texas, and you had 4 kids. That must have been challenging.
It was challenging, yeah. I raised them all by myself, right?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just something that you kind of learn to deal with. That's the thing. I mean, I've always been very independent. You know, I don't rely on anybody. I can make things work on my own. You figure it out, right? If nobody's around you to help you, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
You have to figure it out on your own.
And what does he think about your bikini competition?
You know, we haven't discussed it, but I mean, he knows that it was something that I've always wanted to do. I have discussed that to him before, previously when we were together. You know, a lot of people have different takes on it, even my family. Some people look at it as a lot of hard work and dedication, and some people look at it as, you know, a selfish, kind of self-conceited thing to do, to kind of go and print yourself out there. But, you know, I looking at it from the fitness aspect of it, it's a lot of hard work and dedication. A lot of people don't understand. Yeah. They think that you just go and, you know, you just don't eat for a week and go put yourself out there and kind of prance around. It's not like that.
I understand there's a big, maybe not in the bikini competition, but in the sort of the muscle competition, a big controversy between using steroids and not using steroids. Where do you come down on that?
I'm completely natural. That is something that I do believe in. I strongly advocate, just because steroids are not healthy for you, right? I try to always, I mean, even when I'm not competing, I do eat healthy. You know, I live a very active, healthy lifestyle. I'm not going out every single weekend and drinking and anything like that. So I don't just look for the easy way out, which steroids, to me, I feel like it's just your easy way out.
Right.
It's going to give you immediate results. It's not good for your body.
Okay.
So
if some young lady, or even better, some mom that has had a couple of kids and isn't happy with her current physique and wants to get back in shape, what would you tell her?
You know, I would say they have to look at it realistically, see what their goals are, see where they want to go with it, and you give yourself a guideline, and then like a timeline, right? So you look at it, you say, okay, I want to drop, you know, 10 pounds in a month, then you go for it. You have to, but you also have to have baby steps with it, right? You can't just throw yourself in there, do a complete 360 and expect that you're going to get results. You're not, you're going to crash on it.
Right. So
you have to take baby steps into it, but you have to be consistent too.
What did your dad think about
I don't know my dad.
Okay.
No, so my family, that's okay. My family's very reserved. So they don't necessarily approve for it. So that's even the thing. When I did do the competition, everybody goes there with their whole entourage. They have their family, they have their coaches, they got their meal plans, they have everything. I literally went out there, threw myself out there with just myself.
Really?
I went to Toronto all by myself. I didn't have a circle. It was me. So
now, this photographer that we mentioned, you can tell everyone his name and his company if you're interested.
Yeah, Ryan Lomer. He's located in Windsor. He also has a studio in Hamilton. Great individual. I love him.
He's very supportive of you.
Very supportive, yes. You know, and we've only known each other for a very short time since my competition. That's basically how we got in touch with each other. But he's just a great individual. He takes, you know, he captures remarkable photos.
Yeah.
We love shooting together. We have that synergy that we can produce really, really good photos. So yeah, anybody interested, he's a great photographer.
And if your daughter came to you and said, I want to become a bikini competitor too.
100% I would support it. I would love it.
What age can you start getting involved in that?
I believe it's 19.
Yeah. And if she wanted to start doing it at 19, you'd be supportive?
Definitely, 100%.
Really?
Yep. If anything, I would encourage it more, just because it's going to set more of a foundation for her for when she's older, right? That's the number one thing with adults. You know, your body starts to deteriorate as you age naturally.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So, you know, it's always a smart idea to kind of get involved in it at a younger age, just so that you have that foundation. You can just build off of it instead of, I mean, you can obviously do it at any age, but, you know.
Okay, so let's summarize.
Yes.
Confidence.
Yes.
Diet, weight training, cardio training, and just go for it.
Just go for it.
Is that it?
Just go for it.
Anything else?
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, that's the biggest thing to take. It's just go for it. You know, a lot of people say they want to do this, they want to do that. Just do it. Like, stop saying you're going to do it, just do it. And then you have that goal.
If people want to follow your progress, what's the best way? Is follow you on Instagram or what?
Yeah, definitely. So I have my Instagram. It's just Crystall85G.
Crystall85G.
Yeah. And then...
What's the 85 for?
My birth year.
Oh, okay.
And then Facebook as well, right? I'm on Facebook. So
Excellent.
just my name. Yeah.
Well, Crystall, thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little bit about your competition and your fitness regime. And one of the reasons why I wanted to invite Crystall on is because, you know, she has this story. She hasn't told us all about it. Maybe in another visit she'll tell us a little bit more about it. But I think a challenging time, single mom, 4 kids, and she decided to go for it. And all of us can if we only have that desire, confidence, and that go for it kind of resilient commitment attitude. And Crystall's done it. And she, very first time, came in number 2 in a pretty challenging situation where you need a lot of confidence. So thanks so much for joining us.
Definitely. Thank you.
That's our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us, everybody. That's Brian Crombie on The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Good night, everybody.